Yo, what's up, everybody? Today we're looking at Everything is Demonic, Christian Fear Crusaders, courtesy of the Chodmunch channel. I have a great selection of these like 10-minute videos of just kind of obscure topics, and I don't know, I've been enjoying it so far. So let's see what's going on here with Christian Fear Crusaders.
Is there anything occultic or dangerous about Smurfs?
Well, there are some things about Smurfs that we need to look at. First of all, you'll notice that they're depicted as blue with black lips.
Well, isn't that interesting?
And you know what happens to you when you die? You turn blue and your lips turn black.
In other words, these are...
Holy shit, slam dunk. I'm convinced.
depictive of dead creatures.
Right. And another thing is that Smurfs is an all-male community. And you say, oh, there's Smurfette. She's a female. Well, in one cartoon, she was depicted as transforming from a male to a female through magical power. And so the only female in the Smurfs is transformed from a male. She was not born a female.
No, which...
That's incredible. I had zero idea. And this is old school. I mean, this looks like it's from the 90s at least. The trans panic, like this guy was way ahead of the curve. He was transvestigating Smurfette. I mean, let's go.
What you're telling me then is that even Smurfs carry a homosexual connotation in that most of them are male.
I believe so.
But we're not going to blatantly say that Smurfs are evil. We're just saying that they have all of these overtones that are leading that direction.
We're looking at
They're just gay and they look like they've been dead.
Yoda right now, and Yoda was called the Zen master. Of course, this was based on Zen Buddhism. He's a three-fingered, three-toed beast. So he has the two fingers and the thumb, which from...
I was going to make a joke about Marjorie Taylor Greene, but let's just keep it moving.
My information means Satan is Lord.
E.T., the extraterrestrial. What?
Okay, so Yoda is just satanic, demonic, because he's a Zen master and he's got like 3 toes and 3 fingers. Okay.
What can we say about him?
Yes, it was a camouflage occult movie, including levitation, psychic healing, mind control, mental telepathy, that type of thing.
Yeah, he was an alien, bro.
E.T. also included some inferences to homosexuality within the movie.
Homosexuality?
Yes.
Damn, this dude has like super advanced gaydar. He's picking up gay tones everywhere. I mean, he just sees gay. Like, he's probably just thinking about penises like 24 hours a day.
Here's a Rainbow Bright cereal box, and I mean, what are you saying about Rainbow
Spoiler alert, gay.
Bright?
Again, it's a humanistic emblems and humanistic value system.
Well, the rainbow represents the networking of the New Age.
Right.
And it's interesting that she has a little
That's how old this is. You know, like obviously everyone associates the rainbow with LGBTQ, IA+. But, you know, apparently before that it was bringing together all the elements of, you know, the supernatural, apparently.
5-sided star on her cheek. I don't know if you can see that on the box, but there's a little 5-sided star, and it's upside down, which I'm not going to say it's used in this depiction, but that's a pentagram again.
Yes.
And that's another...
This dude is just nailing it.
New Age and occultic symbol. So we have to be careful even with... Rainbow Bright. You parents that are watching today, it is your responsibility. If you allow your children to watch these cartoons, if you allow them to bring these comic books into the house...
I mean, just look at this guy.
If you allow...
You know, how can you even take it seriously? I mean, look at this guy. He looks like he you know, came in third for casting for, like, you know, the neighbor on Three's Company, Larry. Total, like, this might even be the 80s. I mean, this dude is like legit just a fucking creeper, you know. He's probably wearing polyester. But, you know, Christian Fear Crusaders, I mean, you know, I was like probably I want to say like 18, 19. You know, I was like smoked weed, had long hair, super into heavy metal, all that kind of stuff. And my sister became a born again Christian, and she like, you know, came at us hard, me and my cousins, and she sat us all down and like made us watch a video about like backwards masking, you know, and like there was, what song was it? I feel like it was Another One Bites the Dust, and they were like, if you play this one backwards, it says it's fun to smoke marijuana. And my cousin Johnny was just like, well, it is fun to smoke marijuana, you know, and like, you know, she thought it was gonna scare us straight, but we were just like busting our chops and just like making jokes the whole time. Like we were loving it. It was super funny, and I think my sister was a little frustrated, you know, that we weren't taking eternal damnation seriously, you know. But I mean, come on, like backwards masking is like, all this shit is just, I just think it's funny, you know.
Allow them to have these toys, or you buy them for them, you're going to be held responsible before God. God says not to bring an accursed thing into your house, lest you should be accursed as it is.
I mean, that mustache is cursed, bro.
These things are occultic, they're accursed. They teach the children to get into spells and to witchcraft and to serve demon powers.
Reasons on rock and roll music and why I preach against it, and I believe with all of my heart that it is a contributing factor to our juvenile delinquency of today. I 100% believe it. Why I believe that is because I know how it feels when you sing it. I know what it does to you. And I know
This bro is fighting for his life right now.
the evil feeling that you feel when you sing it. I know the lost position that you get into in the beat. Well, if you talk to the average teenager of today and you ask them what it is about rock and roll music that they like, and the first thing they'll say is the beat, the beat, the beat.
You know,
Yeah, it's got sick beats, bro. Like that's number one. I mean, come on. If you don't have a sick beat, like, what are you even talking about?
there's something about when you go to a concert of death metal, somebody might get killed.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. I can't even count the number of times people have died at concerts I've been to.
You know, you're worshiping death. And then all of a sudden people start dying. Oh, wait a minute. What's going on? Well, you love death so much that you bought the ticket.
It's crazy. I mean, you know, I can't even count the number of people. I mean, like, you know, my high school class had like, you know, 800 people or whatever. And, you know, after like a year's worth of concerts, there was like 500 people because everyone was just dying at concerts. It's crazy.
Yeah. You love worshiping Satan? Well, let's have some of Satan's religion come in and shoot you. I mean, that's what these people should think about before they go to such a wicked concert.
Yes. That dude rules.
Looks all real cute and fun, but why do you have to portray such a negative influence for the youth?
Odorous
for my
urungus.
kids? I don't, you know, in the world. Sorry. You should be.
Teletubby.
Thank you. Thank you, Gwar. Thank you for apologizing on behalf of the metal community. Needed to be done. Stand-up guy.
Are a PBS hit with the toddler set. But the Reverend Jerry Falwell has launched a warning in the latest issue of his National Liberty Journal, telling parents Tinky Winky is gay.
Parents.
Oh, Tinky Winky. Who could have seen that coming?
Be very careful what your children are watching. They watch 20 to 35 hours of television weekly. Be sure that
Those are rookie numbers.
subtle and bad images are not being planted in their minds.
Tinky Winky is a boy, but Falwell's magazine says the fact he carries a purse suggests he's homosexual. Falwell's journal also points out Tinky Winky's purple and sports an inverted triangle on his head, both symbols of gay pride.
This is gay as hell. Tinky Winky. Come on.
Let me say something about Harry Potter. Warlocks are enemies of God. And I don't care what kind of hero they are. They're an enemy of God. And had it been in the Old Testament, Harry Potter would have been put to death.
God, imagine like this lady's babysitting you or something. Just brutal. That's what those people do too. They like to get you alone and, you know, really lay it on thick. kid's just drinking his Pepsi, scared as fuck.
St. Edward Catholic School in Nashville is facing backlash after the school's pastor pulled the Harry Potter series.
The funny thing is, like, you know, now that J.K. Rowling is like a raging transphobe and a TERF, that lady probably loves her now, you know? She probably thinks she's like really speaking out and, you know, helping.
From the library. In an email to parents, Father Dan Rehill explained that the series glorify acts of conjuring the dead and evil spirits.
A group of rabbis.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like a wave of kind of evangelicism kind of ripped through the town I grew up in, and my mom was into it for a while, and, you know, we'd play video games like Dragon's Lair. My mom, you know, she came at me with all these lines one time. It was just like, oh, you know, it's like evil and demonic and like, you know, the symbolism and yada yada. And it was just like my sister with the backwards masking video. Like, we were just laughing. Like, my cousins and I walked around being like, everything is evil, you know. We would just be like, it's evil, oh. And we were just like raging smartasses, obviously, but you know, luckily, like, she didn't lean into it super hard. You know, we basically were just like, that's fucking dumb. And, you know, we went back to playing Dungeons and Dragons and, you know, video games. But, you know, this is old school.
And priests held demonstrations over this past weekend, and they were demonstrating against a movie called The Life of Brian.
Protesters around the world marched against The Life of Brian. It was dropped by financiers, banned by councils, states, even entire countries. But it still
and is like one of the best comedies of all time.
Managed to get shown and still managed to offend seemingly every world religion.
What happened to sticks and stone can break my bone, but words can never hurt me.
Councillor Hitchin, why have you banned The Life of Brian?
Because from what we've heard about it, we think that it's going to be an extremely offensive film on religious grounds.
Now, you've not actually seen the film, have you?
No, we haven't.
What reports have you had of it? Where have those reports come from?
The reports have come from the Festival of Light.
What do you know about the Festival of Light yourself?
Nothing.
Dungeons and Dragons is a real serious problem.
I mean, that says it right there, you know. This guy didn't see the movie. He doesn't know anything about the Festival of Life. He just knows what he's been told, and he's against it.
Problem. I began to look through the instruction manual, and I see here how to cast magical spells and mage spells and cleric spells. And you go to the pages that it's listed on, in this instance, page 41, and they have complete descriptions of how to cast spells and how to contact powerful spirits and how to use these spirits and these powers to overcome, obviously, evil or good. Here it says, it is important to remember that the source of all magic is the life force of the user. This is the teaching of the occult. This is exactly what we were introduced into in Star Wars and E.T., that there is some magical power, some life force that runs throughout the universe.
You have eyewitnesses. For instance, one case, the parents saw their child summon Dungeons and Dragons demons into his room before he killed himself.
Boycott Disney.
That's pretty tight. I mean, homie, like, really made it happen.
We have good reason to do so. And I have...
You know, there's a lot of people out there trying these spells and, you know, not really getting anywhere. So you got to respect it.
Good reason to ask you to join us. Millions of other people have joined us. This is a boycott with a just cause.
A just cause. The Disney boycott. They're anti...
It must be like Ron DeSantis's, you know, uncle or something.
Family actions have spoken louder than its corporate image and cartoon logos. Those actions are causing more and more groups to say enough is enough.
The Assemblies of God.
Disney has been a long time target, obviously.
Announced today they were boycotting the Walt Disney Company.
Disney extended insurance benefits to the live-in partners of homosexual employees. Disney-owned ABC led the TV networks in the number of prime-time gay characters. Homosexuality, violence, anti-Christian themes, profanity, obscenity.
What they're wanting. Someone really needs to do something about this Disney company. It's mass chaos. I mean, come on. You think it's just like a cute little mouse?
Us to do is to simply look at tolerance as the supreme ethic of this generation.
Disneyland is pushing the homosexual lifestyle.
Let's review some of those Disney classics. The story of Snow White includes witches, magic mirrors, sorcery, and spells. Cinderella, even in the opening scene, they tell you that it's an enchanting story about magic. The Bible is clear. No enchanter, no magic.
No enchanter, no magic. The Bible is clear.
In The Little Mermaid, there's witches, there's spells. In the story of Pocahontas, she can...
Look at this guy. He's fighting for his life too. You could just see it.
consults a familiar tree spirit to guide her. Jasmine is supposed to marry the prince, but instead she falls in love with the thief. This also contains magic and sorcery. Mulan's best friend is a little red dragon who lies to her and speaks to the dead, which is necromancy. The Prince and the Frog is all about voodoo, and of course...
I'm learning a lot here, you know. I had no idea. Voodoo.
Of course, Mickey is the sorcerer himself. And let's talk about Frozen. When Elsa decides to build her own ice castle...
So this must be, you know, somewhat more recent. They're talking about Frozen.
She sings that song, Let It Go. And the lyrics say, no right, no wrong, no rules for me, I'm free. This is a most dangerous philosophy to plant into children's minds. You see, the Ten Commandments are our only guide for right and wrong. The Bible is very clear. We are to have nothing to do with these things, period. In fact, the Bible describes these practices as an abomination to the Lord, meaning that God hates these things.
God hates Disney, you know. God's very fickle. It's hard to say what he's going to hate and what he's going to love, but these guys know, so.
And if God hates them, do you think that we should have any involvement in watching them? Romans 1:32
Well, do you? I mean, come on.
States very clearly, who knowing the judgment of God, they that which commit such things are worthy of death, not only do the same, but have pleasure in them that do them. If we simply enjoy the things that...
God, man, this shit is so fucking boring. And I just start tuning out as soon as, you know, they start busting out the parables or, you know, reading passages. And the more passionate they are, I don't know if it's like a trauma response or what, but like, I pretty much am ready to pass out when that shit happens.
That the Bible defines as sin, for example, magic and sorcery, we are worthy of that same judgment by taking pleasure in watching others commit those sins.
Worthy of death.
Worthy of death. Yes, everything's demonic. Christian fear Crusaders. 10 out of 10. That was fucking awesome. I love that kind of stuff. You know, takes me back to my days as a young stoner metal drummer. You know, I had aunts. I had my parents owned a Mexican restaurant when I was growing up, and one of the waitresses, like her family, were like, you know, preachers, and they kind of ran this evangelical church, and you know, all the hypocrisy that you associate with, you know, Christians was fully on display with this family. But one of their daughters was a waitress, and I remember I got my first job washing dishes there, and I bought like a electric guitar with money, And anyways, I had long hair. I'd wear like Metallica shirts, and I had like a Master of Puppets shirt. And this chick like cornered me in the basement. Like I had to go down and like, get some more beans or some shit, like a can or something. And she just, started going in on me about the shirt. So there was a bunch of crosses on it and, disposable heroes and whatever. I mean, she just kind of like gave me the spiel and, did the classic, like, when you die and you're like standing before God, you can't say that you didn't know about this shit because, I'm telling you right now. So like, you can't like say that you're ignorant. These people are crazy. Like, I remember asking my sister one time, I was just like, okay, like say there's, some like tribe in some foreign country that was like, had no, like they just discovered them and they had zero contact with like, the modern world. In other words, like nobody had been there to like give them the good news, about Jesus Christ. And so, I was like, okay, these people become known. Like, have they been going to hell like the entire time because like they didn't, accept Jesus into their heart and, do the whole thing? And she like thought about it for a second and then she was like, yes. I was just like, that's fucking crazy, But anyways, big thanks. Let me just double check. I think it was Chodmunch. You should check them out. It's a great channel. They got a lot of sweet content, and thank you for joining me. It's been another episode of Reactception, and I'm out.